Good evening. Our news summary for this Monday, the 19th of January. The four members of the Board of Enquiry tasked with investigating the importation of weapons into the country since the year 2000 were sworn in before President Patrick Emini at State House this morning. President Emini announced the establishment of the board through a statutory instrument on the 31st of last month. The board is chaired by Judge Duncan Gaswaga. The other members are Nissa Thompson, Justin Dogley, and Edwards Anakura. Judge Gaswaga stated that the board would carry out its mandate with the utmost professionalism and to the best of its ability.
Our duty is to look at the terms of reference that they've given us, which we are going to analyze right away from this interview, and then execute our task. But the main task that I can see therein is looking at the acquisition of the firearms and ammunitions by given the period that we have from around 2000 to date, and then look at the acquisition of the same and registration of the same in the country.
What is the time frame that you have to do that inquiry?
The time frame is really short. It's just 6 months. But what I can also say is that this is an inquiry that stands on gathering information and presenting the same information to the Commander-in-Chief, who also happens to be the President. So just 6 months, which is a very, very short assignment. I would like to thank the people of Seychelles and the President, who is the Commander-in-Chief, for giving me and my colleagues, the members of the board, this opportunity to serve you once again in this capacity. We really treasure it. It's a lot of confidence and faith in us. And two is to assure everyone that we are going to do our best to ensure that we execute our task with all our abilities and professionalism.
The President, in his capacity as leader of the country, has no power to pardon any prisoner without the approval of a committee. President Emini said this during an interview this morning. He was answering our reporter's question about the 5 prisoners who have been recently pardoned. President Emini pointed out that 3 prisoners have been pardoned purely for medical reasons, and the other 2 have been pardoned to correct certain injustices that have been committed against them. Just to remind you that the 3 prisoners who have been pardoned on humanitarian grounds are Fabio Subramanian, Neddy Lagrenade, and Albert Morel, and the 2 on grounds of injustice are Jim Roy Azemia and Andrew Estral.
We believe that if we want to progress, we certainly have one to produce cheaper electricity, water available for future development, especially in the field of tourism and other issues.
We apologize for this. President Patrick Emini has described his attendance at the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week as successful. He said it was an opportunity to learn about the new technologies and various innovations in the field of energy production and water conservation. These are 2 issues that are presently affecting Seychelles, he said, and the government is determined to find solutions for these 2 problems.
We believe that if we want to progress, we certainly have one to produce cheaper electricity, water available for future development, especially in the field of tourism. And another issue which we have not spoken about is telecommunication, the provision of internet. And this is also on the agenda. We are far in our discussion with Starlink to provide cheap internet, because if we want to go forward with artificial intelligence, digitalization, e-government, we have to reduce the cost of telecommunication, plus its efficacy. Right now, as it is, there's a lot of problem associated with it.
The Supreme Court has ordered the deportation of British national Graham Beckett after finding him guilty of importing cocaine. The court noted that the offence committed in 2023 was a serious one and could not be treated lightly. However, several mitigating factors worked in the accused's favour. These included his early guilty plea, which spared the court time and resources and demonstrated a willingness to accept responsibility. The court also took into account his personal circumstances, noting that he is 74 years old. Beckett has already served 3.5 years in detention and has been ordered to pay a fine of 50,000 rupees. Once these conditions are resolved, he will be deported. Students in Crèche P2 to P6 and S1 have started their academic year today. This morning, teachers have reintroduced rules to improve discipline and academic performance in the students. Our SBC team visited Beauvallon Secondary School and La Retraite Primary School and Crèche. The students, accompanied by their parents, arrived early enough where they were well dressed and had their hair neatly done. Both head teachers of the school said that with strategic planning and student welfare, they remain optimistic that the new academic year will be productive and successful. And there were mixed feelings amongst the students on Pralin, some excited for their first day at school, others were still trying to figure the school out, some with tears, but overall, the older students were happy to see their friends. As for the new secondary S1 students, the head teacher, Ian Colley, feels many among them have done really well for their national exams and has a plan to maintain their good academic performance.
This year, we have a total of 136 students joining Pralin Secondary School, which comes from the two feeder schools, Grantas Pralin Primary and Bisetan Primary. When we look at their results are very promising, especially the Set 1, Set 2, and Set 3. So what we've done this year, we've pushed as many students in the three sets, Set 1, Set 2, and Set 3, so that we get the maximum number of students to sit for IGCSE. This is what the school is aiming to do this year, is to have elite classes in S1, so that we push students to the maximum to get very good grades.
And with this, we come to the end of this news summary. Have a very pleasant evening.